Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Maria. Today we are making two Easter egg decorations. Let's get to it. Okay, so our first craft is an Easter egg tree. So I got these items from the dollar store. This is the tin flower pot is found in the floral section at the dollar store. And this is the floral foam. This is a lot easier to cut than the other styrofoam. But they usually have this in a pack of like four pre-cut pieces, with four pieces in the pack. But this one, they didn't have it available, so this one's just one piece. So I used my scissors to cut this into three pieces that I was gonna use for this project and the next. Now, I used my scissors. I could have used my X-Acto knife, but I had my scissors on next to me, so I just figured let me just cut it with that. So, like I said, I glue one piece to the bottom. The other tin I'm gonna be using in the next craft that I show you on this video. Um, and you'll see what I do with that. But this one, I'm making the tree. I glue this styrofoam to the bottom of the tin, and then I grab some poster board and then make the shape of a cone with the poster board. Now, they didn't have any white. They haven't had any white. And I had some blue left over, so I ended up using this, and I make sure that the bottom is wide enough to fit into the top of the tin. And then I glue the pieces together so it doesn't open up. I didn't have to use the styrofoam at the bottom of this. I was gonna put a rod in the middle, um, but the rod that I had wasn't long enough to reach the top, so it was pointless to even use the rod. So I just used it as is, still left the styrofoam in the inside of that, but used it the way it was, and then because the rod that I do have, I'm using it for the next craft, so I couldn't use it for this one. And I used a hot glue gun to glue some of this paint grass onto here. I could have used, well, I should have, I'm sorry, not could have, I should have used Mod Podge. I think it would have been a lot easier than using the hot glue. Don't know why I did that, but then after I was started, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep going. So once I covered a portion of it, I would say a portion because I didn't cover it completely, you can still see some of the blue. I then grab the Easter eggs and I start to glue them in place. Now these Easter eggs open up, so what I did was I grabbed some glue and I glued them shut. Now I didn't use a lot of glue, I only used like a little bit, like a tad bit. And then I glued them in place, like I closed it, and then I glued them one by one onto the tree. Okay, so this pack of eggs, it was a pack of 24, and it came with one golden egg, so I used the golden egg on the top, and I used about 18. I think I used 18 eggs, so it was like 5 or 6 eggs left in the bag. But after I was done putting them in place, I go back with my hot glue gun and I start to glue some more of the grass just to cover some of the blue that was left over, that wasn't covered. I'm sorry, that wasn't covered by the first grass that I put on there. Like I said before, I could have used the Mod Podge, but I didn't. Um, I think it would have been a lot easier had I used that. But I think either way, it turned out pretty good. Um, it's not bad looking at all. But after I was done covering as much as I could of the blue, I liked the way it looked, but I felt like it still needed something and it was a bit plain to me. So I found this ribbon at the Dollar Tree a few months ago. It's like a pink burlap ribbon. I didn't see it before. I grabbed it. I figured I could use it for something. So I'm using it for this one. I think it looks great with this one. They also have this in like a mint green color. I haven't used that one yet, but I'm pretty sure I'll use it for something soon. Maybe another Easter craft. But I wrap this one piece around just to cover the twine that's on the tin, and then I grab two more pieces because I'm gonna make a bow. Now I'm making this bow for this one. I cut two pieces off and I fold it in half, glue them to the middle, and then I pinch it in the middle. After I glue those two pieces, I pinch it in the middle, but I make two bows, and after I pinch them each in the middle, then I put them both together and I add some glue just to glue them together, and then I put another piece of the burlap ribbon in the middle just to cover that part up. Now, once this bow is complete, I do glue it to the tin and I glue it in the spot where the ends, the two ends of the ribbon meet on the bucket. Okay, so this is what this one turned out like. I thought it was really cute. It was, like I said, it's quick and simple and it's very inexpensive because everything on here is from the dollar store. But I thought that adding the bow at the bottom was really cute. Because like I said, it looked kind of plain to me with just the way it was, but I wanted to add that extra stuff on there. So I think it turned out really, really cute. Now we're on to the next one. Okay, so the second craft is stacked Easter eggs. Now, like I said, these are all from the dollar store. Now, I saw these eggs this year and I thought they were cute. I didn't see them last year. I think they had different ones last year, but I think these are really, really cute. But they have four colors. They have the green, the blue, the purple, and the pink. So, same thing as before. We put the styrofoam in the bottom of this tin. And I grabbed the eggs. Now, I guess these are supposed to be ornaments to go on the trees or whatever. They're pretty big. But I took those out. Now, instead of me pulling it out, I had to cut them because when I did pull it off of this green one, it started to pull off the whole thing from the inside. So I had to glue it back in place, and then I had to cut the ribbon off instead of pulling it because it wasn't gonna like unravel the whole thing. So I ended up just cutting off the ribbons out of all of them, and then I grabbed my drill and I start to drill a hole onto the purple one because I want to put a rod in the middle of this, and for it to stand in place I have to connect them with the rod. So I I've got picked up the rod from Home Depot some time ago, and I used part of that rod in another craft, and I had some left over and it was still a little long for this, so I do end up cutting it. You'll see that after I put the eggs on. So one by one, I drilled the hole and then I put them onto the rod. It was a little tough because it was, of course, styrofoam like in the inside, so I had to push pretty hard. Now, these eggs are like, I would say they're like a thick styrofoam kind of, so it was like pretty hard to push in. But getting it straight was the hard part because I drilled the hole, but it kept like curving on me. I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted to do. But it worked out in the end on how I wanted it to come out. So I do leave about, I would say about a half an inch or an inch on the top of the last one because I'm going to add a bow to that. So after I put the last one on, which is the green one, I then leave a little bit on the top, and then I measure it on here because I want to make sure that it's not too tall, but then it's not too short either. So I cut enough where so I have space to put in the grass. So in this one, I'm using the green grass that I have. So after I figure out where I want it, the first hole didn't really come out straight. It came out a little, to the side. So I had to add some for the third piece of the floral foam. I cut two smaller pieces and I kind of pushed them into the middle because that styrofoam just wasn't staying in place. It kept moving when I would put the rod in. So I needed to fill like the sides, which is what I did there. And then whichever hole was like, let it stand straight, put the hot glue in through there, and then I put it in place. Now, after I put this in, I add my carrots. Now the carrots comes in a 2-pack. Also got that from the dollar store. And then I just put them in the sides of the bottom one. So I do add a little bit of glue onto each egg. That way when they can glue together, like when they're touching. So they are actually in place. But the rod kind of helps out with that. I also saw these bunnies and I used 2 skewers and I put them in through the back of that, but that you're able to see them because they're like in an angle. And then I grabbed my ribbon. Like I said, I did the bow. Like I said, I did the same way I made the pink one in the first craft. And then I grab this smaller ribbon. This is like about a 1-inch ribbon, also from the Dollar Tree. And I, it's really 2 long strands, and I made a knot on it. Glue that to the top, and then I add my bow to the top of that. Now, I think this one was also simple, easy, and inexpensive, and it's also turned out pretty cute. This one's actually taller than the tree. So this can go on the floor of your living room, next to your entertainment center, or on the shelf, however you want it. But if you stay to the end of this video, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more. To the next one. Bye.